Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are on this fine planet. Welcome back to another episode of Recovery is Effing Awesome. My name is Robo, and my day of grace is May the 7th of 2010, and I am as grateful for that today as I know how to be. So, I have a question, and the question is this. How in the hell can we stay sober and be serene and live in peace and harmony when there is so much bullshit going on in the world? You know, I get up in the morning, I do the same things. I do a little journaling, prayer, meditation, get ready for the day because I have to be spiritually fit. Because as soon as you turn on the news, as soon as you turn on the computer and you get on the internet, right, it's all doom and gloom. And everybody's pissed off. Everybody's pissed off at the orange man. And I am politically neither conservative or liberal. I'm conservative on some things, liberal on the other. So I am what you typically would call an independent, somewhere square in the middle. Just want, the government to leave me alone and let me live my life. And unfortunately, people, and I believe that the majority of people in the world, not just Americans, but people in the world just want their government to leave them alone, let them do their business and live how they want to live without, too much control. Now, everybody is pissed off at Donald Trump. Everybody's pissed off at Elon Musk. Everybody's pissed off at the good old USA because we are cutting off ties to the WHO and to the UN, who we have been funding for decades, which I agree with. If we're in this partnership with the rest of the world, then everybody should pay an equal share. Now, I may lose, some listeners on this, and that's fine, and I am sponsored by no one, so I am beholden to no one, so there is no, alternative motives for what I'm going to say. Nobody's paying me to, schlep their, point of view on certain issues. We have the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, which is a great idea, and they're finding, billions with a B, billions of dollars that have just been wasted. And what I don't understand is how people are so pissed off at Elon Musk for finding out the corruption, but they're not so pissed off at the people who are corrupt and who have been basically screwing us in the butt without even the courtesy of a reach around for decades. This isn't a Republican thing. This isn't a Democrat thing. This is a government screwing the American people. And I'm sure the Americans aren't the only ones. Other countries' governments do the same thing. Politicians want power, control, and money. Period. And a lot of people think that Doge is this creation of Donald Trump, and I think he actually said it, which is not true. Actually, Obama, in his first term, created the Office of Government Efficiency because he knew that we had a lot of government wasteful spending. Unfortunately, people with a lot of power and a lot of money got to him, and it was quickly poo-pooed. The thing I respect about Trump, I don't like all of his policies, and I don't necessarily like everything that he says, but one thing I do respect is the fact that he wants to put America first. He wants to bring America back to being the world power that it was after World War II. Now, the way he's going about it with some of his executive orders, I don't necessarily agree with. I do like the fact that he is, taking women's sports and making them just women's sports. Nobody asked me, but, here's a simple solution to the transgender problem. You have male sports, male division, women's sports, women division, and then you have a transgender division, which is if you are a man who thinks he's a woman or a woman who thinks he's a man, that is the league, or whatever you want to call it, that they can go play in. Right? Let men play with men, let women play with women. Just because you have a penis and think that you're a woman, you shouldn't be allowed to play with, biologically born women. And it goes the other way. If you're a woman, born a woman, and think you're a man, you really shouldn't go play with other men. And it's really not complicated, but it's a political hot button that the Republicans can use against the Democrats, and the Democrats can use against the Republicans, and it keeps everybody arguing with each other. Because the fact is, the politicians want the American people to keep arguing over silly little things to keep them distracted from what the government is really doing. I don't understand it. This has been going on for decades, and eventually you would think the American people would wake up to this fact. And I believe the majority of Americans are somewhere in the middle. Unfortunately, the people in the middle don't get the clickbaits and the news coverage. It's the people on the far left, and it's the people on the far right. There's an old saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And, we should stop giving money to Ukraine until America is taken care of, until every American is taken care of. We have homeless veterans living on the street, don't have a place to stay, don't have a place to eat. But yet, for the last 4 years, we have invited all these other people who some are admittedly coming here to, make a better life for themselves and take care of their families in other countries. Great. But there's a lot of people who are coming here who are criminals. They were criminals in their country. And let's just take Venezuela, for example. The president of Venezuela emptied his prisons, put them on a plane that we paid for up to the tune of $80 million and flew them in our country, and we just let them go. Now, do you think if they're criminals in Venezuela, they're going to be, fine, upstanding citizens here in America? No, they're not. And if you think they are, you're fucking delusional. Sorry, but you are. We should deport every person who is here illegally who has committed a crime. I'm not talking about Mr. Sanchez, who lives a couple houses down from me, who owns his own business, has been here for 20 years, raising a family, paying taxes, living the American dream. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about these son of a bitches who come in this country and want to do us harm. I'm talking about these motherfuckers who you see on TV who want to come here illegally, in most cases, burn the American flag because they hate America so much, and wave their flag, their country's flag wherever they came from. Well, if America sucks so bad and your country is so great, go the fuck back. But you won't, because they don't give you free health care. They don't give you a free fucking debit card. They don't give you free housing. We should have housing for our homeless before we even think about giving a penny to support illegal immigration. And if that pisses you off, too bad. Too fucking bad, because that's the truth. I don't know why people are so upset about putting America first. If you're an American, you should want your country to be first. Take care of us before you take care of the rest of the world. We shouldn't give a fucking dollar to Ukraine. We shouldn't give a fucking dollar to Israel. Sorry, but we shouldn't. They should be able to take care of themselves, and if they can't, then we strike a deal, just like Trump is trying to do with Ukraine. We're giving all this money out, and we're getting nothing in return. Maybe it's time we start getting something back. Now, to be fair, even if we strike this mineral deal, the American people probably won't see shit, but, that's just, it is what it is. Until the people of North Carolina are fully back up on their feet, we should not give $1 to another country. There are literally people in North Carolina who are affected by Hurricane Helene who are still living in tents. FEMA's not helping them. Our government not helping them. But yet we're going to give billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine and Israel and other countries around the world. Personally, I think that's wrong. They gave them, the Biden administration gave them a $600 check. They lost everything, and they sent them a $600 check. But what they didn't tell you, it was a $600 check that was a loan. And the thing that really ticks my ass is the fact that these people had no power. No power, no electricity. Yet they sent them a pallet of chainsaws, which is great, but they were electric chainsaws. Talk about a spit in the face to the American people. You have no power, but you have an electric chainsaw. That doesn't make any fucking sense. So Donald Trump is trying to put America back first, take care of Americans. That I respect. Some of the ways he's going about doing it, I disagree with. Um, I don't think that he has a, I guess, malicious intent. Even though he is cocky, he is brash, and people like him and hate him for the same reason. He says what's on his mind, he does what he wants to do, but for the most part, he does what is in the best interest of America. And so people who don't think you want to put America first, I have to question that. And everybody's pissed off at Elon Musk, and they're burning, Tesla buildings, and they're burning Teslas in protest and all that stuff. And I we have a right to protest, right? But don't burn shit, don't loot shit, don't tear shit up. That kind of defeats the purpose, and it turns a lot of people off to your cause. And I know that they're not doing this all by themselves. They didn't just get together and like, hey, we're going to go do this. No, it was sponsored. Somebody's paying for this. And when we find out who's paying for it, we should, prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law. But we won't, because whoever's paying for this is probably, politically or financially tied to, people in politics. It's just, this is the way that it works. And, the people who are getting screwed are the people who just wake up every day and want to be left alone. So by saying all that, if you suffer from addiction and you're in recovery, how in the fuck do we wrap our head around that? Well, the simple solution for me is I have to be spiritually fit, because I can go down rabbit holes. I can let this shit get me emotionally wrapped up on one side or the other, and it will absolutely throw me off. And then I will start thinking negative thoughts, and then I will start acting negatively, and pretty soon I will want to change the way that I feel. And I know exactly how to do that, whether it's through Jack Daniels, whether it's through drugs, whether it's through overeating, whether it's through shopping, whether it's through gambling, whether it's through sex, whether it's through just you name it. But how do we not let this affect us emotionally? I mean, my God, look at the stock market. The stock market, what is concerning to me is the stock market has been propped up for so long. It's got to come back to zero. And Trump is setting tariffs on Mexico, even though he delayed that 25% tariffs on Mexico. He put 25% tariffs on Canada, which caused the Canadian, this newly elected liberal side of who wants to be the prime minister, basically going to war with America. The Canadians are booing the American national anthem at hockey games and sporting events, and they're pissed off about a 25% tariff. But not one peep about the 100% tariff that China has had on Canada for at least 20 years. So China puts a 100% tariff on Canada for their wheat, their soybean oil, their oil and gas, and not a word. But Trump comes in, puts a 25% tariff on Canada, and all hell breaks loose. And I think it's Trump. They call it Trump derangement syndrome. If it was anybody else, I don't think it would be that big of a deal. But since it's Trump, and it's cool not to like this guy. And I'm really not sure why. Before he ran for president, everybody loved him because he had money and he had power, and they would love his donations. But as soon as he ran for president, oh, look out. Imagine, if you will, if Trump wasn't a Republican and he was a Democrat. Imagine the shift in focus. Do you think anybody would care about what Trump's doing? No. It'd be nightly news and Trump would be good. But unfortunately, he's a Republican, and the media is run by Democrats, except Fox News, and so Trump is bad. Right? So going back to how do we stay sober? Well, it's really easy. We don't get emotionally involved. We do the best we can with what we have, and we have to be spiritually fit. We have to take care of ourselves. When we take care of ourselves, we are ready to or for anything that comes along. You know, the economy, if the stock market crashes, which unfortunately it almost has to, things are going to get tight. You know, there are people who, you know, go to the grocery store and can barely afford groceries, you know, barely afford rent, barely afford, you know, put gas in their vehicle. You know, people are working 2 or 3 jobs just to get by, and that's not right. There's going to be some hard times ahead, ladies and gentlemen, but we're America. We've been through hard times before. We'll get through it. But for us in recovery, we have to stay strong. We have to stay true to ourselves. We have to stay spiritually fit. We have to, or we will let this world eat us up just like it did before. Again, thank you for listening. Check us out. We are everywhere on social media. Recovery is effing awesome podcast. Check out our website, recoveryiseffingawesome.podbean.com. We do have a Patreon if you so choose. But take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Attack everything with positivity and gratitude. And remember, recovery is fucking awesome.